Hello everyone, I am Nudos. Welcome to another episode of Minecraft. I am out here in the town because I think it's time that we finish doing some of these. So yeah, I've started outlining this particular part of the town. Again, like I said last episode, I don't know if I'm going to really use all of these buildings for anything, but I think it's really empty. We just need to have buildings here, whether they have anything in them or not. So we've got 3 buildings that I think I can squeeze in over here with enough variety to not be boring. Sort of a bigger building, a skinny tall building, and then this is going to be more like townhouse or condo style houses where or duplex, whatever you want to call it. They're 2 connected houses, but just doors that kind of go either direction. Now, last time we added in this tall, skinny house, and we still have this area over here where I could probably put 1 or 2 more. We can easily squeeze probably 3 there, and 2 or 3, maybe even 4 over there, depending on what I do with that hill. So I'm gonna keep building these things out and just see where we get. Okay, I think I finished laying out the town here. So we looked at this earlier. This is just a collection of various townhouse type things. Over here, I've added sort of a small rancher style house that I think I'm gonna try and put like a farm or horse stables, something like that attached to it. Over here, we have a larger, sort of more modern type of building. Maybe this will be some kind of museum or some shops. I'm thinking maybe an external staircase up to the top that we can put there. I added 1 other house here. I'm thinking that somewhere in the middle here, maybe the smithy needs some kind of outdoor area for smithing. I don't know, some kind of exterior thing attached to that. And then over here, just some really boring, basic townhouse type things. This doesn't really leave a ton of room for the mason. I mean, we could still put the mason shop here and kind of attach it to that. I'm going to have to come back to that one, but this gives you a much better idea of what the town will actually look like. And it gives me a better idea too, because I'm just kind of doing this on the fly here. But I think once we get some of these buildings added in, this will look way better. Instead of just a big empty space, this will make sense. And then we can start building out some of the pathways, some of the weathering, all the blending, all that kind of stuff. So I am pretty excited with how this is turning out here. I don't remember if this was last episode or the episode before. I talked about how I found a data pack to prevent bats from spawning. Well, as you can see here, bats are no longer spawning, and I don't have the data pack installed anymore, and that is because you don't need a data pack. You just need to not build it out of natural or natural adjacent materials. So I tend to use stone. In this case, this was mostly stone slabs, which still count as natural, even though stone slabs don't appear anywhere in the wild. And if you build it out of things like that, bats can spawn. If you simply build it out of something that does not generate naturally in the world, or is not crafted, I guess, from things that generate naturally in the world, no issues whatsoever. So this farm is now fixed. I just need to get a handful more blocks, I think is what I built the witch farm out of, so I can fix that. As well as the slime farm I need to fix. And once those are fixed, the anti-bat griefing not even mod data pack is no longer required. So just FYI for your own worlds, when you go to build these farms, don't use stone blocks and stone slabs. The more you know. It took a little while to get it done, but all of my farms are now fully bat-proofed. Fortunately, the hyper-efficient resin farm that I designed several episodes back is an easy way to get a lot of slabs. Unfortunately, I did still have to smelt them to get the bricks to make the slabs, and you need a lot of them. But the witch farm is good to go. Slime farm over here, good to go. Creeper farm, good to go. So that is it for the bats. The more you know, right? Just remember, don't use natural type blocks. So with the basic layout of the town more or less complete, one thing that I am lacking is resources to actually build the houses. I've never really bothered to stock up on different wood types, so I'm doing that now. I don't have any sort of fancy tree farm, so I'm just planting and chopping them down the old-fashioned way. One thing that I think will be nice in particular about building out the town is it will give me a chance to just experiment with different color palettes and styles and things like that. I'm pretty sure that I want to build at least one of them out of the pale oak or the pale wood planks, so that is why I have been planting those here. We have a lot of logs now. Yeah, almost 6 stacks. So this will probably be good because that will multiply by what, 4 when it comes to planks? So that will be like 24 stacks. I think that'll probably be enough. But I'm gonna keep planting these, well, probably not these, now that we have so many logs already. I'll go get some other saplings and stock up on other wood types. We have plenty of bone meal at the very least because of the skeleton farm. So it's very easy for me to get lots of trees very quickly. So where do we begin? We have a fair number of buildings on this side. Well, we have 2. But we only have 1 building over there, so I kind of feel like maybe we start with this townhouse area, and maybe we can somehow work the masons into that. But the first thing is to get some sort of build palette. And as I mentioned before, I do think I want to use pale wood for at least some of these. So we got a whole bunch of that in here. Logs. Yeah, so if I just convert all of this to planks, then we have a lot of planks that we can start building out a design with. Trying to decide though if it makes sense to do sort of just the interior part here, for example, with that, and have some sort of edge along the sides. Probably we can just make the whole thing out of it and then decorate it with bushes and stuff, but let's put something down and see how we feel about it. Dang it, I missed a spot. Okay, so obviously ignoring the orange, I was thinking we might put some kind of door frame there. I need to put something up there, but we'll probably have a roof. I'm kind of thinking that these roofs will go front to back as opposed to side to side. That will give us more room for the angle, and it will also allow these to sort of stand out from each other. Side to side would look weird next to each other like that. But we can also fill in the sides here. I'm not looking for... I don't necessarily want this to be the world's greatest designs for the houses. I'm not... We're just trying to create some sort of semblance of this being an actual like lived-in town. So I'm a little bit less concerned about actually having this be everything equally beautiful here. You know, some towns just have ugly houses, and that's okay. Yes, nailed it. Yeah, I think that works coming around just like that. Obviously, we're gonna poke windows in this. It's not just going to stay bland and boring like this, but I think this will work for now. So let me finish filling this particular building in at the very least. Seeing as how skinny these houses are, I don't think I'm going to worry about trying to have different walls on the inside versus the outside. I think that's really going to constrain the space too much. So for right now, we're just going to build in the inside wall. This part isn't even really necessary, strictly speaking, except that if I ever want to put anything in here, it would be kind of dumb for this just to be an open wall. It would certainly make the space inside bigger, but I think doing it this way will allow me to build out interiors for these things. So maybe we actually can put the mason in here because this is a wider building rather than having to build something over here. Or we could put the mason over there maybe. That's also a wide building, maybe they share a exterior workspace with the blacksmith, right? So yeah, that is the blacksmith. So maybe the blacksmith forge area there, and then the mason has a shop there. I don't know. These are all things I haven't thought too hard about just yet. Right now, I'm just building the outlines for the buildings. So that one I think is okay. We could probably put another pale one over here. I don't want to do too many of the same. We do have plenty more logs, so maybe we just stick it here. Maybe all the very skinny buildings are pale. Let's do that. I know this was several episodes ago now, but every time I come in here, I am still really proud of how this building turned out. Just, good job, me. Excuse you, class. Hi. So now we need to come up with something for the other buildings. We have 2 pale wood buildings, which I think works out pretty well. I'm thinking something with a brick front at the very least would make sense. I don't know if this is a thing everywhere in the world, but certainly here in America, people love putting brick facades on buildings. They don't actually make the whole house out of brick, just a facade. And there's a couple ways that you could do that, and I might try this over here actually, where kind of like the bottom half is brick and then the top is siding. For those of you who don't live in a very old house like I do, at least as far as American standards are concerned, 50s is kind of old. Some of these houses started as single-story houses, and then a second story was built on top. I got one in my neighborhood. It's kind of hilarious. But that would make more sense for a standalone building like this. These townhouses generally would have been built all, one style. So either this middle one or this one over here, I think we should do brick. But then I need to get a lot more brick. Yes. And actually, I think that works really well here. The what do you call that? Grout. I don't know if it's called grout, the cement, whatever in between, really goes well with this pale wood. So yeah, I'm gonna build out this front with brick. The interior walls, probably not. Those can be concrete or something of that nature, but certainly at the very least, this front wall is going to be brick. And I am just about out of brick. I think I need clay for that. Do I have any still? Please. Sure don't. Okay, well does the mason sell brick? I mean, it's about to be your house, so that would be pretty great if you had some. Hello, sir? You do. 10 brick, which I can use to make the brick blocks. All right, let's go get some emeralds. There we go. So then we can just punch in some windows, probably some big windows. It looks like we can fit in, and we'll get some kind of floor in, and then this can be where the masons live. We'll call this like a 2-story situation inside here, but I do think these interior walls will probably be something else. And the convenient thing here is that when it's time to move this guy in, I can just break down some of these walls, let him in, close it off. So that works out pretty well, I think. So I actually did end up making the inside brick as well. I think this actually will work out fine. We'll have a floor here to break it up. We can put some shelves and other windows and things, but a lot of old like work buildings and factory buildings around town, at least where I live, it's a very brick heavy town. Even the interiors are brick. So I think I will leave it like this. I let him in here. We're gonna have to do this for now just to keep him from getting out. But now I think we just need to fill in this building, and then we can start thinking about some of what's over there. Okay, I have to admit, this is starting to look like I'm just creating very large Minecraft blocks. I promise, I will definitely, totally, eventually give these a little bit more flair and variety and texturing and all that stuff. Just like I've definitely, totally textured and decorated the exteriors of all of these other buildings. I'll definitely do it eventually, for sure. I've got some bad news, folks. I thought it would be fun to build one of the buildings out of prismarine bricks. But, go ahead and take a look at my inventory. You might notice a few things missing here, such as my netherite pants and my netherite boots and both of my netherite picks and my bow. I was up here and I was crafting the prismarine bricks, broke the crafting table, and because Minecraft is Minecraft, it decided to yeet itself off instead of just breaking right there. So I jumped down to grab it. And in doing so, well, you could probably guess, because there's about 8 billion guardians down there, what happened. I died. Respawned, swam all the way over here to grab everything. Died again, because of course I did, when it's literally impossible to exist here without getting shot. So then I grabbed my spare pair of wings and I have a stack of rockets, and I just started flying back and forth. This is all that's left. I had another stack of prismarine bricks too. Oh. I'm gonna need so much ancient debris now. I need a whole new pair of pants. I need a whole new set of boots. I need 2 new picks. I got nothing. I can't even fly back to the base properly. I don't have any more rockets. Let me at least grab these stupid things. Well, let me get in the boat, I guess. It's gonna be a long trip home. At least the good news here is that we spent the time to build up the XP farm. So now I can get a lot of levels very quickly, which is great, because I'm gonna need them to re-enchant my gear. I don't know. Do you think 44 levels is enough? Surely not. Okay, several hours and a few hundred levels later, finally geared back up. Just don't have enough netherite for the shoes, but we got the pants back. We have 2 picks back. I got a bow. Moral of the story, guardians are awful, and just let the crafting bench thing fall down. The worst part is I don't even have enough prismarine, because I also lost that. And I'm starting to wonder if this is really the look I want here anyway. Something that I think I kind of forgot about is that concrete and terracotta exist. For some reason in my brain, it was bricks and planks only as far as houses are concerned. So, I don't know, just on principle, I think I'm gonna go get some more prismarine just because I started it and I want to finish it. Okay, here we go. I finally got enough prismarine to make this, and I gotta tell you, it's a little ugly. But I think at this point, I'm gonna leave it just out of spite, because it took me so long to get the materials, and I lost all my crap just to make this ugly house, that I think we're just gonna leave it ugly now, because I can't be bothered to change it. So there. This one I think we might do out of purple. That might be fun, but I'm gonna have to go to the end for that. I think the combination of the 2 colors will look nice. That's what I was trying to say. So I need to go get some of that, and then I think for this building we are gonna use concrete. And I'm undecided on this one. My original thought was like a little log cabin. I'm not sure that that's really gonna work the way I want it to. So that one might also be concrete or terracotta or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, and then we just have these two left. Okay, so every single building in the town is now done. We've got our prismarine and purpur. We've got our tall, skinny pale wood. We'll change this out. I was just thinking I might do a different doorway. Stone bricks over here. I saw this in I think it was a Gemini Tay video. Didn't even think about this, but composters. Composters give you something akin to a log cabin style. My thought process here is that this has probably been here a while, and then over here, we'll build an area to keep horses and livestock and stuff. So that is what this land is about. My thought is it like this is that person that has refused to sell their land to the big developers and is holding out, so they'll probably have a little bit of extra land that the big developers here haven't been able to get a hold of. This is, I think, light gray terracotta and green concrete. I don't know. Excuse you. I don't know if I'm totally sold on this look, but for now I'm going to keep it. I was trying to stick away from just doing white because we have a lot of white over here. Now this I built is an older style house. So sort of older European style house, right? So you've got the log frame and then something like a plaster interior. So that continues all the way around. And then we'll eventually get this roof. I think this is going to be the right style of roof. It just needs to be a little taller. And then we've got end stone here just to have something a little bit different. And then you guys already saw these. In hindsight, I don't know if it makes the most sense to have made everything so different. Maybe I should have gone with a little bit more consistency, but I'm going to leave it for now because I've spent a lot of hours on this already. Obviously, I need to put new roofs on. None of them have roofs except for that one. So roof is upcoming. But now we at least have buildings in the town, which is very nice. Okay, much fussing about later. Every building here is now outlined with the thing. It's got roofs as well. Let's take a little walk through this city. So over here we are using, I think this is the polished deep slate, same thing I used on the house. It's a little bit lighter gray. Then here is the regular deep slate tiles, which I'm using in the backsplash in there. It's darker. I thought it would just provide some nice textural difference. And also I didn't want too light of a gray coming up with that. Over here, I'm starting to think that maybe I should have made this one layer taller, but this roof is pale wood, so the pale logs, and then this is the new pale moss. I think that's a pretty neat combination. I'm very happy with that. I may, like I said, move it up one. We'll see. Now this building, I think I want to keep very sort of modern and industrial. A thought that I'm having that we could do here is actually maybe push this green part back one or two. Then we put, maybe using the copper grates and things, trapdoors, build a staircase up. So down here is the retail space, and up there is like a rooftop bar. So we might put a like a canopy sort of thing, an awning, a canvas awning sort of thing that comes out, and then some tables, bar tables out there that people can sit at to have some drinks with some friends. Over here, the Tudor style. Tudor style is what this one is called. I sort of kept that in line with what I was designing here. So you can see up here, we're sticking with the very dark trim part and then a lighter roof. We're using the cherry wood for that, which I think goes well with this white terracotta. Over here, I'll just keep it in free cam. I should probably put some more torches up here so mobs don't start spawning. Oops. So over here, we're just going with sort of standard modern asphalt type roof. So that is what is going on with this. Obviously, that one's a little different because that's a little farther back. I need to put a torch there as well to make sure nothing spawns there. And then over here, at least for now, I just went flat. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with this building, so I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. I think that it works okay. I turned the wrong direction there. My apologies. But anyway, that is going to have to do it for this episode. I feel like it's a shorter episode at 20-some minutes here, but it took me many, many hours to get here, especially with the setback of the stupid Guardians over there ruining all my gear. So, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you stick around for the next one. I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye!